DeathsTalker here. So a couple weeks ago at the French Grand Prix at Le Mans, Alex Rins, at the end of the race, gave his helmet to the marshals in one particular corner. And the reason he did that was that weekend, as they were getting ready for the MotoGP race, a marshal who had worked at the Le Mans circuit since 2002 passed away from a sudden heart attack. And even though like the medical people from the track were there and they worked on him very hard, unfortunately he didn't make it. So what he decided to do was give his helmet to the family of Jean-Paul Plee, who was 58 years old. And apparently he was an absolute diehard fan of all racing. Now, the MotoGP guys, and like myself, anybody else who's ever been a racer, knows how important the corner workers are. If something happens on the track, they're the ones that warn you of oil or an accident, or if there's an ambulance on the track. You know, they're the ones that pick up the little pieces of bikes that have crashed and get them off the track so you don't have to run them over with your tires. They're the ones that, you know, check to see if you're okay if you've come off your bike. And if you're not, they help you until medical personnel arrive and get the ambulance there for you. You know, they work from the start of the racing day to the end of the day. They get a short little break for lunch, and the only actual breaks they're getting are the slight breaks they have in the racing. So if there's a pause between one class and the next, that's their break. The rest of the time they're already on duty, ready to help out if needed. You really notice how hard they work when something goes wrong, like you know, when they had that problem at Silverstone about a year ago, where it was raining so hard they couldn't get the water off the track. It was the marshals who were out there at various corners and sections of the track trying to help sweep as much of the water off the track to try to get so people can race. They weren't successful, but they were still out there working in horrible conditions. You know, the riders, we go out for a race or a practice session, we're out there for, you know, 20-40 minutes, then we're back in our nice garages. You know, we get a change of clothes and a chance to have a sit down with a team. They're out there in the rain for that whole day. You know, and we've always appreciated these people, because a lot of them are just plain volunteers. You can't have a full-time job as a marshal. Racing just can't afford it. But you know, you get people who are passionate about the sport, and they know they can't race, but they can hold a flag and they can help out and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's like, that's what they do. They when I was racing back in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, the marshals, if you wanted to know where the best parties were at the track on the weekend, like on the weeknights, or sorry, on the race nights, go find the marshals. They partied great. Actually, in the pit area where the racers were, the pit, like the area just right over beside the fence to us, was where all the marshals hung out. And they, you know, a bunch of them would have motorhomes, or a few of them would camp, but man, the music was going all hours of the day, and they were having a great time. And you know, sometimes they'd actually come by on after Friday practice or Saturday and whatnot, and they'd see us and they go like, "Oh yeah, I watched you come to that corner. You were smoking," or like if you had a problem, they'd ask you how it was, or if they were the ones that helped you, they were checking to see how you were doing. You know, they're the heart and soul of racing, be it go-karts, MotoGP, Formula 1, Superbike, doesn't matter. You know, marshals are marshals. And it's always sad, you know, when something happens to one of them. Some of them that, you know, the racers return to the same track year after year, and you get marshals who've actually worked on the same corner all those years, and you get to know them. Like, you might not necessarily go out drinking with them or invite them over to your house for dinner, but it's people you get to notice and you get to know, and you know, you get to like. You know, and you have to share a few laughs and stuff. And you know, the last thing you want to see is, you know, people that are doing so good for the sport, you know, have something like that happen to John Paul. So anyways, it's a bit of a downer, but you know, if you are a racer, remember to thank your marshals if you get a chance. You know, it's they're out there doing something, they love it, but you know, a thank you or a, you know, good job, it goes a long way. And if you want to get into racing, look up the internet and find out what your local racing organization is, because I bet you they're always looking for marshals. Anyways, hope you enjoyed that. Deathstalker signing off.